Okay, we're live. Hi, everyone. It's me, Dustin. My name is Dustin, and I believe. Nope. Fuck.
Did you
Wel-
steal mine?
welcome to. Welcome. Welcome to Critical. Matt, start.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Critical ReRoll, the podcast by the Critters for the Critters. My name is Matt, and I believe that Blink Dog should vote.
My name's Jess, and I'm super offended that Dustin was just about to steal my intro.
That's not what I was gonna say. Hi, I'm Dustin. Welcome to my TED Talk on how PC adventurers should actually learn how to plan.
Today's menu of discussion. I don't know what we're saying. Okay, so Critical Role. We missed last 2 weeks. Here's the thing, though. We're just going to gloss past them. Unless you guys in the chat think about anything super specific you want to talk about from those past episodes, we are all about moving forward.
The future.
And we also didn't forget everything that happened in those episodes. But now we're on episode 17. The group has done a lot. I guess to note some cool things, Ford ate a sword. What are some other fun things?
Do you guys think that is what? Because I saw a few people chatting and like talking about like, was he actually supposed to eat that sword, or was that like?
I mean, if you can tell me how else was he gonna consume it in like this?
In small bites with a fork and knife, like.
Okay, that's true. Maybe if he had tusks, I don't know.
I mean, I thought it wanted him to swallow the sword. So, I mean, that's.
Did you? I did not get that. I love that like Travis was very slowly like, like motioning like, am I supposed to do this crazy thing?
And he done did it.
Yeah, skills, bro.
So that happened on the way back. So the team had to go into sewers to investigate like a magic place. They come back up, talk to the gentleman, get exonerated from, I guess, the suspicions, if there were any of them, killing the. Oh god, what was she? High Richter? What was the lady that they killed so long ago? Or that, what's his name, killed?
I don't have the right notebook here for that.
It is all good. I think she was the High Richter, right? I don't know. They murdered a lady. They are now not in suspicion of that, as people have been brought to justice. And so now they had like a couple of days of downtime before the Harvest Close Festival, which is where this one starts. And they hear music, and Jester's obviously the first one up because her spidey senses were tingling. And she uses the moat, so the little dodecahedron. Is that right, dodecahedron? No,
yeah.
D12. It has the ability to basically give somebody a luck point, essentially. And so she, right off the bat, woke up and used it, and so now, who else knows? So it's not Caleb, Jester, and now Bo know about this thing. I don't know if they've like openly said it to everybody else. So that's gonna be fun moving forward. Of like them, we can do this thing with this orb that we stole a long time ago.
Was anyone else like? Are you surprised that she just like took it and did it? I thought Caleb would be more protective of it. Like I thought Caleb would sort of like want to be like, but it mine, like, but me do this. But
yeah, like, I could tell that based on like Liam's questions in that episode. Like, so is it just me that can do this, or can everyone do this? And Matt said, well, everyone can do it if they know about it.
Yeah.
And I don't really think he had a say because it's Chester that gets to hold on to it all the time. So he's kind of at her whim.
Yeah, that's true. Wonder if they're gonna make like a schedule. They're like on Mondays and Tuesdays, I got the orb, and then on Wednesday, Thursday, you got it, and then like.
And then they'll do the whole thing where like, and don't forget Frumpkin. Frumpkin gets a turn, but I'll take Frumpkin's turn. It's fine.
Oh yes. They're gonna come up with excuses and other people that need it.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I like that the best thing for her to do with it was immediately punch Bo.
Did she actually use the? She didn't use the.
She
didn't use it. But Bo asked her to do it, didn't she? Like Bo was like.
Yeah, she's like, "Do you feel stronger now? Punch me."
And didn't she do like automatically like because she's so strong? Even her base level is sort of like 5 points of damage, so she could like kill a peasant basically. Like
she could destroy a kitten.
She could murder Pumpkin with one punch.
punch tiefling.
Yep.
Yeah, so they have that now, and moving forward, I don't know if she remembers that she had it because they were in a fight, like a real big fight.
But it was the same. Yeah, you're right. She didn't use it that day.
Yeah. So they get everyone else together, unless I'm like skipping over anything, and they head out. There's the new bar owner lady. Was it Diana?
Oh. But
Go.
but okay, thank you. What was the thing? Like Bo brought up babies, and then Chester was like, yes, they're going to have the baby. They can't have the babies without it. And then Bo pointed out, like, do you think that has anything to do with the missing children?
So
do you
are you
think
saying
it has anything to do with the missing children?
Are you
guys?
saying like they can't have their own kids, so they're stealing
They're
other
stealing
people's kids
children?
to raise them?
Maybe. I mean, like, how else? Like, if you cannot reproduce, and like, why would that be a thing? It doesn't seem like it would be necessary for reproduction so much as like, didn't someone mention like souls? There were souls there, so would it be?
Go ahead, Dustin.
I thought that they kind of like misinterpreted like how he was saying that it keeps, because I thought they used whatever they were using for like Jess said, like soul and transfer it, like keeping something like reliving in the same.
Yeah.
It feels like she kind of assumed. Yeah. It felt. I mean, that's how I took it. Like I thought they kind of assumed that they couldn't have babies of their own, so then they kind of like.
Because the way the guy.
But then
the way the guy worded it was like, "This is how we keep our race going," and so she's like, "You can't have babies without it." So yeah, that was fun. Didn't one of the bad guys from the first campaign have a thing about stealing? There was
the Dread Emperor, yeah.
But did they successfully kill that person?
Yes.
I thought didn't they just send them away to a pocket dimension?
Well, he lived. No, he lived.
Like
he lived on an island in. It's actually a character in the Book of Evil Villainy or whatever it is.
Book of Vile Darkness?
Yeah, Book of Vile Darkness. Or it's one of the ones that has to deal with like making bad guys or whatever. Okay. But yeah, he lives like on an island that floats in limbo or something like that.
That's fun.
It's like
but yeah, that's when Kiki got her first child. We'll move past that. I don't know. I do like the idea that, hey, we can't have kids, we're going to steal others, but I don't think that's it.
Okay, and then just because it came up later when they're having the candy apples and stuff like that, Jester ends up sharing some of her apple with a little kid, and the little kid is very cautious, and like Matt's sort of describing it, and Jester's trying to like talk to her a little bit. Where's your mom? Is your mom nearby? And the kid just sort of like runs away. Do you think like the orphans of the area know they're being stolen? Like that seems sort of like an interesting interaction there. That I'm just saying, I feel like, does it connect, or is it just unrelated? Is Matt telling us something?
I'm going to put my hat in the unrelated bin. I don't know, I think that was just like a fun little story bit for them. Because that was after Jester was like, and you all don't get any because we got them. And so Matt was like, ha, now this is the consequence for being prideful. You made a little girl sad.
I know, but he could have made a little girl that had a parent sad. He made a little girl that was like a very scared orphan sad, and I can't help but wonder if that's a Matt.
Well, I thought he like nodded his head when he's like, "Is your mommy here?" or something like that.
I feel like I wonder if they should be trying to make nice with the street urchins of the area to get info off them, because sometimes kids know what's up.
That is fun. I like that idea. What else happened in the morning? I guess really nothing. There's the new bar owner, and then they all. What did they all start talking about? Oh, the whole, is the skeleton a skeleton or a dead person?
What side are you on?
Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna make a poll for that.
I think at a certain point, a skeleton is just a skeleton. It's not a person anymore.
Yeah.
No,
unless that skeleton wakes up and starts talking to you.
True. Then it's like, you're a person again.
Yeah. It repersonifies.
Right now, you're just decor.
Yes.
Aesthetic.
Yes.
Like, if you were playing The Sims, you wouldn't go down and pick, like, person bones. You would pick skeleton.
Now I wish. Now
Is that anything?
Now I want to. Now there's. I mean, there's a multiverse alternate where skeletons are referred to as person bones.
Person. I did not mean to will that into existence. I apologize. Moving forward, so they start approaching all the festivities, and they hear some games being called out. Things like, was it Trebuchet and King's Vault? And I was hoping, because we had just gotten to Ren Fair like the week or that week, and I was hoping Matt was gonna say like mean things like the callers do at Ren Fairs.
They say mean
Or,
things?
They say mean things, or like not so much mean things, but like I don't know, they try to get your attention and like make you want to play the game.
Yeah.
So like, who was it? We got called Gandalf and his two hipster friends.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite ones.
Or then another one, they're just like, because it was, you know, the throw the ball, hit the target, dunk the person, and the people were like, hey, come throw my balls or play with my balls, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, so hoping that would be something fun like that. But I guess that Ren Fair had a lot more respect for people. But they end up splitting the party again, just Caleb and Not, and then the rest. And they go play Trebuchet, which I didn't really get why it was called that when that was originally describing. Go ahead, Dustin.
Because they launch it backwards.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
so like,
because there was the little girl, and they're like,
yeah.
I was like, are they
How
gonna
many people thought they were going to
throw?
launch Little Girl?
I thought everybody thought that.
Also,
200%.
I feel like, because I don't know if you noticed when we walked through Ren Fair, there was a booth that had little mini trebuchets and baskets.
It was
And I think,
catapult.
yeah, and I think Travis heard that and thought about, like, Ren
That
Fair and maybe that game, and then was like, we gotta go there.
Uh,
Because I feel like they thought it was gonna be, like, using something, and then they get there and it's just throwing something behind your back.
That makes sense later because Ford plays it and does literally the worst you can do with the three tosses. But he's like, this is just like a real Ren Fair. So I'm assuming Travis has terrible luck at these things. But the trebuchet, they have to like, you turn around and you launch it like a trebuchet. And you just try to get the beanbag in the bin. And Travis rolls 3 natural ones. And it's fantastic.
Oh man, just like right off the bat, the first rolls of the game. It's just
3 nat ones.
3 nat ones.
So the first one, he hits the mother of the little girl that just played it. Then he like catches it on his armor and sends sand everywhere. And then the last one, he gets help from Jester and Yasha.
He gets
and they
help.
Mhm.
And then they get the first "How do you want to do this?" of the session, and they just throw them across. Interesting question. What were the Renaissance fairs called during the Renaissance?
Harvest festivals.
Yeah, a festival.
Fairs?
End of season festival. Solstice. Equinox.
Fates?
All of
Parties?
Jubilees?
Maybe did they do like, I don't know, prehistoric fairs? Like, did they do like Jurassic Times?
Jurassic Time.
Black Plague-a-thon.
Yeah.
Come get
Someone
your
dresses
plague.
up as a giant like mammoth and like just stomps through the crowd
Yeah.
and then like.
So yeah, Travis does terribly, I guess, in real life. Apparently, according to Mary on Twitter, Mary Elizabeth was on Twitter.
That's so interesting.
And then of course Molly Mock is up next, and he gets it first try.
Actually.
I think both Yasha and Jester miss next. Is that right? They still get a strawberry, which that was weird. So what did you guys think of the prizes at this Harvest Fest? Because Molly Mock makes one in, and he gets like a fresh strawberry. But if you get all
Delicious.
3, you get a candied apple.
Well, I think, it's like the part of the fair, like the harvest fair, so it's celebrating like harvest and stuff. So there's, but if they had gone to probably a couple other things, there probably was like a bunch of harvest stuff for sale. Because Matt, as one of the guards, did mention that no, you can buy more like in. So there's probably they missed a whole bunch of just like straight up like, hey, look, here's harvest stuff and.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he did mention it was kind of like a craft fair too. Like there are a bunch of tapestries that Molly buys, and we still don't know why.
Isn't it the end of season? It's going into winter. Didn't they say like maybe have like a safe and healthy winter? A strawberry in old timey times at the end of the season would be very rare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, strawberries are summery.
It's a spring fruit.
Spring, yep.
Hot takes with real life Druid Jess.
Sorry. I'm just excited because it'll be strawberry season soon.
I had a friend that I went to high school with that his family owned a strawberry farm, so when it became strawberry season time was like right around now. And we would all go out there. And...
Maybe in you hot people lands, but up in Coldsville, it's not for a while.
In Coldsville.
And it's a very short period of time.
So then we shift over to the other two who play King's Vault, which is the little, like, put the money in the cup and move the cup around.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Caleb's up first and he nails it, but Not still tries to help with her message spell. It's fun because it's like the middle one, but Not thinks it's the right one. So she's like, it's the right, go with the right. No. And then Not goes and loses the 2 gold. Or 2 silver, which they're fine with because how much gold does Not have?
I don't think any of us know. She's got a ton of gold.
It's ridiculous. Like, who was it? Caleb asked for like 200 and she gave him 280 to bring back the change.
Didn't she send off a bunch of stuff recently?
She did send off all of her stuff, really. All her rings.
Yeah, like that was the thing.
Bearings.
Yeah, that was very interesting too because she wanted to post.
Where was that going to? And it was like, yeah, it's never an issue. Money is never an issue for her though. Money is never an issue. Like people are like, it's gonna be really expensive. It's gonna be like 200 gold. And she's like, kapow!
Yeah, she's like, I got the credit card. I don't remember if Matt actually said the name, but when Sam proposed, like, I want to go find somewhere to send things, he's like, and I think I know where you're sending it to. I don't know if he actually said the location.
I thought he said something about the location, but
I was trying to like make it seem like I paid attention. No, he totally said the name, but I don't remember it.
I don't have any notes from earlier.
Chat room remembers, let us know.
Mm-hmm. Someone pointed out the prizes were like bottom tier prizes from Chuck E. Cheese.
Fun fact, did y'all know his full name is Charles Entertainment Cheese?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Chuck E. Yeah,
no,
Charles Entertainment.
Is that true?
Name. That is true facts.
I cannot believe this right now.
Yeah.
Stay tuned after this podcast when we just do an hour of Chuck E. Cheese lore. Stay tuned for that.
They're not animatronics. The original owner was a necromancer. So they do the King's Vault, and Jester kind of looks around and asks Matt if it's kind of heavily guarded, this area, because they're in the main area, and she knows that there's a shrine to the Allhammer nearby. What a useless fact. Okay.
Charles Entertainment Cheese Senior, Junior, the third. What?
No, see, David's confusing that with the Great Whoppers. There's a Whopper Junior and Whopper Senior. Oh my God.
The Great Whoppers.
Yeah, it was a royal. They were royalty.
Burger King was. Yeah.
Just saying.
Don't even get me started on the Fry Kids from McDonald's. Hamburglar. Did she ever steal a hamburger?
There was okay.
We're gonna move on.
Yes, please, because I know McDonald's lore actually.
Well, so on to the point that I was trying to get to before we derailed this so far. What do you guys think? Was it interesting at all to you guys that it was the Crown's Guard mainly that was running all these games? And like, because we have this view of the Crown's Guard being super shifty people, but they were like swinging a girl and letting her play a game.
Yeah, when he mentioned that most of the Crown's Guard were like manning the booths, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't expect any of that.
I'm sorry. I read Warper. W-O-P-R. Let's see. So they're playing the King's Vault. The guard that's running it, she actually notices that Nut is a goblin, because when they leave, she's like, no, take care of your green friend. Do you guys think it's a normal occurrence to her to see a goblin, or was she like surprised that this goblin was civilized and like didn't make a big stink about it?
I feel like she was just trying to fuck with them because Caleb had just won the game and then was giving her the stink eye, and she was like, yeah, motherfucker, I know that your friend is a goblin, so like, you want to test me? Like, come at me, bro.
Me.
That's what I thought.
Makes sense. Makes sense. We have our first mention, I think, of a new kind of not so much player, but a new not entity. What's the word? Group. The Righteous Brand. Which, oh god, what did he say? They're like the whole kingdom's militia type thing, military army.
Yeah, they seem to be the frontline guys, kind of like, like I think the Crown's Guard might be like a little more fancy, like a little more like, and then I think like you said, I think they might be more like the militia. They seem to be trying to, you know what I mean, get like peasants from the town to come join, type thing.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, even when they asked, like, later they were asking someone and they were like, if you don't tell us those things, I guess you could go try and be one of the King's Guard, go kiss ass for a few years. And then, like, you know what I mean? I think it's a little, I think King's Guard's a little more upper crust.
Yeah. Because, wait, so the Crown's Guard, who do they answer directly to? Like, do they answer to the king?
I mean, they're like the government. I think this is more of like a conscription sort of service. For like
municipal versus federal,
yeah,
like,
for like general army kind of stuff.
I think that like the nation's people. Okay, up in Canada it would be the Mounties. They're like that's the Mounties. They can go across Canada on their horses and like do law everywhere.
And who is that? And
really,
the Crown's Guard.
Okay.
I mean,
I just wanted to talk about the Mounties.
So they can
that
go.
Makes sense,
they can go around Canada and do right.
Yeah, they can Dudley do right. I don't know.
Okay. So anyway, they're running their own game, the Titan's Grasp, which it took me a while to like realize how it was set up, but it's a fulcrum point on a plank, and there's a rock on the end of the plank, and you guys smash the end and try to flip the rock over.
Yeah, that was fun. I like the image of that, like this big brick or whatever, and then to flip it.
And so it's Yasha who goes first, and she rages, which kind of it's fun for the story, but turns out to kind of be detrimental later. But she rages, and she's able to flip the rock on her second try. Gets a 24 strength check. Ends up winning like 43 gold or something like that. And
44 gold in silver, though.
In silver.
Yeah.
And so they like kind of fill the pot back up for Jester to try, and some of the party members also like bet against her, like not specifically said like I'm betting against her. And her first roll is a natural 20, so she does it too. And they actually like shut the game down for a little bit.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna take a break.
Yeah.
Well, did anyone else think that was weird? So it seemed like they took the money out of their own pockets. Each of them put in a coin. So they were each individually running this thing, like you were saying. Like that's so weird. And they were doing it out of pocket. Like,
well, given the next one, like where they have the arm wrestling thing, they're testing people's strength to see like, we should offer this person a role in the army.
And so, like, Yasha won probably what had been most of that morning's pot. Like, they probably... Because it's not... I mean, it would be crappy for someone to next come... If someone had won the next pot, to have no pot, if you're the first person playing the game. So they probably have just, like, a starter pot. And then as the day progresses, you know, how many people actually flip it.
But you would still, like, normally you would have, like, you know, a communal cash bag that you're going to refill the thing. They, like, each individually took out a gold and put it in, so it was out of pocket. Yeah,
but then they're funded by the government too. So like that, like Uncle.
You think they can go get recompensation?
Who said? Yeah, or Kate said like army recruiters. I mean that's
high school army recruiters.
And Uncle Ook earlier had said like you know manning the booths and recruiting. So that's probably just like part of the funds for recruiting. You know this like support for recruiting probably.
Okay.
And I mean they get paid. So who knows if that's actually their money or if that was like the money they were given for that event, you know, to fund the recruiting effort. And I mean, I think they probably it gives an interesting flavor to that they're always actively recruiting, which mean you know because we know that there is this clash along the west with Xhorhas, and it kind of gave them a little bit of like a needy kind of like I mean they just need bodies and so like you know anything they can do
like,
to get people
Makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. What do they do next?
Caleb did not do the short bow challenge?
Yes. Before that, there's something else.
Apples.
Though.
They do the candy apples after that.
Why did Molly need to make a distraction?
Yeah, I was confused about that too. He went and like got the big rug.
Yeah, but what prompted that? Oh, so they're there, and for whatever reason, Molly's like, "Do detect magic" to Caleb, and to see because he's like, "Something here's got to be interesting," and he's like, "Well, if you can get eyes off me for a little bit, then I can do that." And so Molly goes and buys like a massive, like 7 foot by however long platinum dragon. The funny part about that is he says like, "Matt, is there anything gaudy over here at this place?" And Matt describes like the platinum dragon like a god. So I'm like, did Matt miss here and think like Gody or like GAWD or how you spell gaudy?
Oh.
Like being all flashy.
Yeah.
Either way, I think he covered
Gaudy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It just made me laugh when I heard it. Yeah, he gets it, but we never learn why he has it. And he's like, "I have a plan, you motherfuckers."
Yeah.
I want
He
to know
never
what
did
his
anything with the
distraction
tapestry.
is.
Maybe in the next episode, he'll whip it out and throw it on one of the monsters.
Yeah, on the monster.
Yep.
Thank you, GAUDY. I always made a W. I wasn't very good with spelling.
It sounds like it should have a W in
It
there.
sounds
Gaudy.
like, but you know,
Gaud.
English just
Yeah.
ruins things.
English. The tapestry will really accent the manticore head, the slushy manticore head. They still have a donkey. Have they fed the donkey in a while? Was it Boris?
That's probably was boarded somewhere, maybe, probably.
Yeah,
I don't know.
hopefully they put it somewhere where it's being taken care of.
But we
I
all
hope
know
someone
that
else-
animals that are beasts of burden
Oh,
don't
God.
fare well in D&D.
Oh, Dorothy Ducks.
No.
We never knew
Aw.
you, but we miss you. He's like our little Sebastian.
Oh.
So there is now was it Eagle Shot? Is the
challenge?
The bow challenge?
that Not wants to do. And I like that she originally like, "Can I use my crossbow?" and starts waving it around. And the guy's like, "Oh, sir, control your daughter." And then she gets her competitive spirit on because she's like, "Well, now I have to do it. He just human-splained me." And I like her drive to like win after she didn't do well the first shot.
Yeah.
Her first 3. "Don't condescend to me. Let me shoot again. I'm not done yet." And she knocks it out, and she ends up winning. What was it?
2 rats, 2 swords, and a doll of King Bertrand Wendell.
Have we heard about him a lot yet? Or is this really kind of?
We haven't heard about him a ton. Not that I can think of. He was mentioned a bunch in this episode, though. A bunch.
Bunch.
We might get to hear more soon.
Robin
Knot, yeah. I love the imagery, like, in quick succession, just like, pew, 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 just getting, like, bullseye after bullseye after bullseye. Like Robin Hood, or like in Brave.
Or in Robin Hood Men in Tights. That's what I thought of when he's like, "Wait, you get another shot." I get another shot. Because they're looking at their scripts. Because Critical Role is scripted.
No.
Meanwhile, Jester sneaks off to go vandalize the Allhammer Shrine. It was great that she like walks in, remembers she's not camouflaged, then walks out, and then immediately walks back in her camo, her disguised person.
As a little old lady, that was really good.
Did she cast disguise self, or did she use her kit? Do you remember?
I think she cast it.
Okay. Cool. It's funny that they were like kind of willy-nilly with their spells, knowing that they were going into a fighting pit later.
I don't.
This kind of.
I was wondering about this too.
What note is this in your TED Talks, Dustin?
This is. Are you actually planning ahead, or are you just saying things off the top of your head?
For dead.
Oh, see, this is why you're my writer.
Oh no! Don't give me. You have to read it all slowly because it is mostly misspellings.
Well, dead was there was no A in dead, but I mean it was okay.
Phonetics. Yeah, no, it's interesting because Yasha only has the 2 rages, right? for like quite a long time.
I don't remember when it goes up. I don't know when it goes up with. I don't know barbarians that well.
But if we're going like technically, because she raged there when she did the.
She did, at the hammer challenge, and then at the arm wrestling.
Yeah, so that's the next thing. So after Jester successfully vandalizes the Hammer's anvil with like hearts and
great stuff.
The pamphlets, and almost gets caught because she's like putting it on
top. She got away with it up to a point, and then it wasn't until she was like, but I also want to do something like on top in visual range of the people here, like, and then had to run out in her little old lady form.
And I love how she like walked in, because the first time the guy's like, "Oh hey, if you need anything, let me know." And then the second time, "Oh hey, if you need anything."
Someone said 3 times a day, 3 rages.
3 rages. Okay, so she's
so that works out. Yeah. That makes sense.
Excellent.
At level 3.
Yeah. Rages. So is it more at level 4?
Does it go up for your level? No. It's
like you have 3 at 4th. Next time it goes up at 6th level, you get 4.
Okay.
I didn't know you were limited to rages. I thought you just could rage anytime you got hit. Like I thought you could just like be like,
as long as you're like during combat, as long as you're taking damage or dealing damage, yes, you keep it going. But like if it for whatever reason you drop it, you have to use another usage of it. So it's kind of like other ones that are like the Paladin Divine Sense, where you like can do it up to a number of your charisma modifier. Things like that.
I did not realize that.
Or like invoke or like your cleric versions too.
Divine or Channel Divinity. Yeah. Which is dumb that we don't get more of those. We only get the 2 forever.
I don't like just being able to use 2 of those. Well, I like invoke duplicity. It's fun.
It's a great one. We're to that point of the episode where we skip around. So invoke duplicity, if I'm wrong, when you do it, you can like cast spells through.
Yeah.
Yep. She's been doing that.
Has she been doing it?
Yeah, that's what she was originally, like the very first time we got to see her in the circus, she sent her duplicity form around to like the other side and was casting from the other side, wasn't she? Wasn't that like sort of how she was using
I know
her?
She's used it a couple times like that.
She's definitely done it at some point.
I wonder if she knows she can do it with healing too, because she was originally like against healing word, and so if you invoke duplicity, you can like send your person to next to somebody.
But I thought you couldn't touch things.
Is there limits to it? Does it have to be like a casting range or something?
Well, I mean, for healing.
Healing is a touch spell, which is why like you would use your doppelganger thing to get.
Can you use your duplicity for it? That's my question.
You could. I mean, I think I used it with my trickery cleric. I used it.
Yeah, just for the duration, you can cast spells through your. You can cast spells as though you were in the illusion space, but you must use your own senses.
Oh.
But does it have a physical form?
If you must use your own senses?
Yeah, like it doesn't. If it doesn't have a physical form, and the spell requires you to physically touch something, does that count?
Oh, okay. So it's saying like you have to be able to see it. So those senses. So no, yeah, you're right. I don't think you'll be able to touch it. Okay. Well, then I don't want to do trickery. Don't need it anymore.
I still do.
I like trickery. Moving on.
I don't know. I was just.
So arrows. Is that where we were?
We were at arrows. We already said 2. We were on 2.
Well,
Jester at the Allhammer. And then the traveler steals a bite of her apple. And then she
licks it. Interesting.
Like,
I didn't like that. I didn't like that she licked where the traveler.
You don't like? I think that's very Jester.
It's very Jester, but it's just weird to Matt.
Well, okay, and then but then Matt, like everyone was like, everyone was like, ew. And then Matt was like, they have a very specific or special relationship. Does Jester have a crush on the traveler? Is it like she got his favor because she was such a fangirl? Like
it kind of plays more into the like she somehow willed him into existence as like an imaginary friend. She made herself a boo.
You can love your god, just don't love your god. Yeah, divine bacteria.
There's a joke there.
That's
something with mono. I will find it eventually.
Okay.
I don't know. I just thought it was odd. Like, it was weird.
Who are we to judge a relationship?
Yeah.
I mean, we're viewers.
I think she's just being silly and gross. Said Kate. Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's part of the reason why, like, when Matt had to like try and be Jester a little bit, he was like, I don't know what she'd do. She's so weird.
Yeah,
like she does.
Yeah.
She's very impish. Yeah, like you don't know what she's gonna do.
That gets a little too Greek. There is monotheism.
Monotheism.
I like it.
Oh, Kate, that was good.
Oh
man. She's.
But Yasha gets into. I'm gonna try to get us back.
Go.
Yasha gets to do an arm wrestling match against really strong dude, and she whoops him, and it was like, for whatever reason, intense to watch an arm wrestling match in D&D.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It's cool because you had to have like 3 successes.
Yeah, I think that plays really strong. That's probably one of my. It's a simple mechanic, and it's one of my favorite ways that Matt does the arm wrestling. Like, it's my favorite little game that Matt has, and it gives me much joy. And that whole game was just edge of seat. Like, oh my god. It was just a simple 3 roll dice, 3.
Yeah, make your strength check.
Yeah,
with advantage.
So good.
I think Not tries to help too. Like, I heard your mother was sleeping with someone or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Kendall was sleeping with your mother right now or something like that.
Yeah. Because that was like the other big beefy guy's name.
Yeah,
because all these people have like cool names. And Kendall. But that's where she gets approached by the dude whose name y'all remembered, but I didn't. Donovan?
Darrow?
Darrow.
Where
did Donovan come from?
I mean, it's a D. You started off right.
I got a very Game of Thronesy Golden Company kind of vibe from like his as he started to talk about the stubborn stock, and like hit like that character. I'm like, oh look, it's another Matt NPC that I just went dreamy eyes for. Just he's so good at just coming out with like that character's attitude and like, yep, nope, I'm in. I like this guy.
He made me think of Jarrett. I was like totally thinking of Jarrett.
Everyone on Twitter was saying it. Yeah,
Is it Jarrett? It's Jarrett.
It's the new Jarrett.
Oh, there you go. Someone in chat said it. Darrow's new Jarrett. Yeah, exactly. I had the note down. He's like over 6 feet tall, human male, tan skin, long blackish hair.
But he had a melee
voice
weapon, and
like
I was like, no.
Jarrett.
The melee weapon, so I was like, no, it's not him.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot. He favored the crossbow, didn't he?
He's ranged. But yeah, that's the stubborn stock. They sell swords, mercenaries, and they offer a spot for Yasha to join, and they kind of just do what the military kind of can't, I guess. They kind of do like the odd jobs, like go here, fight this, go here, catch him, wait for us to call you to the front lines if we need you. And
they mention the missing children too.
They do. I think they're asked about it, and they're like, yeah, that's a thing that's happening.
Well, because New Jarrett started to talk about it, and then Matt made Jester roll for how charismatic she was being, and she rolled a nat 1. So we started to be all like, oh yeah, we've investigated that, and both times we found that, and like paused, and then like rolls the nat 1, like, yeah, I can't tell you anything.
I want to know more.
Yeah.
There's something about the kids. You got me thinking now, like, are they stealing kids?
Yes!
They have kids, but like, that was a misunderstanding. I thought that they couldn't have kids.
But there's still something there.
Yeah, I just don't know what's happening. I just don't know.
Oh shit, son! I got it!
Uh-oh.
Children are going missing, and all these weird monsters are showing up. They're experimenting on all the children.
The kids turning them
into monsters. Boom!
Nailed it.
Pencil drop.
Sorry, Matt. If you're listening, we solved it. Gotta cancel. Let's go to session 3.
I'm done. Sorry, I'm done.
He collaborated with the McElroys and its Monster Factory. What else happened? So they meet her, or they meet them. They do the Darrow. She turns him down because she's like, I'm already with this group, and I also just don't want to do this thing you're offering.
Yeah.
And they find more games at this point. Is that right?
Talk about the victory pit. Ask about the missing children. Oh,
Did
they
you ask
had
for
that
a
super
brief-
cool coin instead of like a business card.
Yeah.
And Not was super focused on that. She
On
was
that was
like,
pretty cool.
she was
actually.
like, we need one of these. And then Jester said she was gonna start working on their like branding. So do you think like Laura Bailey's actually gonna make like a tag? Do you think
I feel
she's?
like she's
I
going
really
to.
hope she will. Like she's gonna come back and show us her like Mighty Nine tag. That's gonna be the new thing that they like magical spray paint all over the place. Like they're just gonna tag everything with their
fun.
new Mighty Nine symbol.
I want them to. She better. You gotta do it. Everybody tweet at Laura. Don't actually do that.
Laura, can we make a tag? Oh, that's when Caleb starts asking about getting to the Cobalt Reserve, and we meet Archivist Jenna.
I thought it was Jenna.
Jenna. I can't read my own writing, so I couldn't tell if those were N's or R's.
Yeah, he goes and asks, like, is it a public place that
Yep.
anybody can go into? And it is, but you have to have a monk with you.
Yep.
Where are you gonna find one of those on the harvest clothes? And then we learn a little bit. Not really. We don't learn anything.
Well, he asks about the Halsey edition, and
Yeah, and
and
it's
she
Headmaster.
points out. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't have the names. I didn't write any.
Well, but like the archivist just points out to like, oh well, they don't really share, right? Like whereas like you can go to the public libraries, she says that they don't really like share in the same way. Yeah, and then she mentions that the headmaster is Orman Hast, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but I have it written down as Orman
I think it's
Hast.
almost Haas.
Hast?
Haas.
Orville Redenbaugh.
Just no T at the end.
Orvin Redden Wizard.
Perfect. Got it in 3. Yeah, so what do you guys think about that? Like them not sharing information, it kind of feels like that's shitty.
Mhm.
Like you're both in the same city, and I feel like they're both. Well, what does the public know about
Well, I
the
assume-
Cobalt Reserve? Because the thing that Bo's part of the like secret organization.
Oh, the Cobalt Soul.
Yeah. So like that's not public knowledge, but everybody knows that the Cobalt Soul is just like all about information gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
So
I think the public.
So why?
Because people like they're all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Repositories all over the world, so they're just sort of like the library you can go to research stuff.
Yeah, they have public sections of the archives, I think is how it
this
works.
is just like special stuff that shouldn't be publicly consumed. That's at the.
Well, I mean, the
Halsey
Halsey edition is also where the Cerberus Assembly is.
So it's a completely separate group.
Yeah, so it's probably more government run, and then whatever they're doing is more like, no, this is for the government's use or whatever. Probably.
It also seems like it might be more arcane focused, whereas the Cobalt Soul might be general knowledge.
Yeah, because they went to Percy and Keyleth went to the one in Vasselheim when they were looking on Vecna stuff, right?
Oh yeah, the Cobalt Reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called the
those are
rope. It's
related.
called they're all they're all linked. They're all the same.
Fun. Took me a minute. I got there.
You're there. You made it.
I'm
You made
there.
it.
Hello, friends. I've caught up.
It's good.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just don't know what Caleb's looking for, other than just general, more arcane knowledge.
Everything.
Like, is there something specific you think he's trying to find that he just hasn't yet, or is he just I want all scrolls everywhere?
I think he
Wants
all
all the magics.
Mhm.
I mean, he specifically took feats that made him like be able to memorize things on site, and like he's like an instant writer downer, and like all this shit, and like literally like even at the beginning of this episode, he said if we had any off time, I would have been transcribing spells. So like I think he just all of the spells, all of the knowledge. I think he's like addicted to the arcane.
Is it an addiction?
I think he's addicted. He is a problem. And I think that's really funny, like, because we saw so much of not immediately as like, oh shit, she's an addict. First episode. What we didn't think right away was this guy's an addict and she's the
That's
mama.
why they got along.
She's the mama.
They recognized each other's like coins.
Addictions.
So that they don't get to use anymore. So that all happens, and then they meet back up, and I think they go to break.
Maybe.
This episode's
Yeah, they do, and then they come back. That's when they come back to the. They try and get into the tournament.
Yes.
They try and enter, and they're told like, "Oh no, it's too late. It's already closed." But they're like,
Yeah, what did you guys think of that? Like, I thought that was
"Ah."
funny that they wouldn't. That there was almost a chance that they didn't get to play.
I thought it was interesting, and I wonder if like Matt did sort of put a timer on it, like if they did too much stuff without going there, if he would have like locked them out further. So he made it so it was kind of late, but they could still sneak in under the wire, and then anything past that, maybe they would have had to have like bribed or done some checks or like. Go ahead, Dustin.
I imagine he was running like all of the events in his head, like their time frames, to like. Because that was definitely a show, right? So it probably had a definitive start time in his head, and because they were messing around and stuff like that, it was possible that they would never get there in time, and then they would just be watching it through the whole thing, and then we would just have Matt describing a whole thing. But I'm glad they got there, and I'm glad they managed to worm their way in, because then we also got some fun stuff.
We did get some fun stuff. Why don't you tell us about the fun stuff?
Yeah, Dustin.
Oh no! Why did I do this? You guys are better at talking than I am.
Make a deception check.
So, what? I roll a d20 right now. I don't know what my
do it.
Do it.
What's the DC, Jess?
I rolled a 16.
Okay, you passed.
What's my charisma?
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
Okay.
I agree. You made it.
Okay.
So they got in.
Yeah, they get in. They kind of get taken into the holding area where everybody else is. There's kind of like not so much, not like a banquet, but there's like everybody funneling in this place. And Matt kind of like cuts off their conversation to shift the scene over to a page that is running in. And he's like out of breath. And he's like, I have news from the king himself for the Starostra. And I thought it was instantly funny that none of them cared. That's like, okay, they go off to the corner where there's some other people. They're only like 20 feet away. And Jester's like, okay, I do jumping jacks to get ready. And they all kind of do their own things of like looking around. And then Matt re-describes the scene that's happening in the corner. And it's like, should we listen maybe?
Well, I think we've, because I keep forgetting, like, the Starostra is like, what level of authority? Like, because back in the town where they saved from the Knolls, that was like the voice piece of like the top law thing, right?
I guess they're like the mayor.
Yeah, so it's like so it's like a mayor or whatever. Yeah, so I think maybe they just weren't paying attention to like the title and like, oh well, I mean, if that's the mayor of Zadash, that's a pretty important person, right?
I mean, I would have focused on like from the king himself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as I was saying that, and then I was like, oh, I remember that they also said king, and then you said it, and then okay. Well.
I bring a message from the king himself, but also the mayor.
The mayor, you say? Scandalous. So not goes solid snake mode.
I was gonna say that too. Go ahead.
Apparates like a box around herself, which I don't know how she was able to sneak around like it's a box in a crowded place, and like people can walk through it. It's just an illusion.
They were distracted. They were busy. They're all the fighters
are narcissistic. It was a 3 foot by 3 foot box, though. That's like not small. It's noticeable.
It was a message from the king. A message from the king.
Message in a bottle.
He went a different way with that.
I did. I'm sorry. I don't know which way you're going. I'm too used to
I got you. Don't worry.
Okay. So Nat makes a box, and she goes to listen, and she doesn't roll too well.
Oh yeah, I love that. That there was like, you hear this, but then like, blah, 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 blah.
You didn't hear that. You missed that part, and everyone's like, "Oh, damn it!" But what she gets is, I didn't understand. I couldn't like parse the words Matt was saying at the beginning. Like, which sky is now dark?
Oh no! You shouldn't go by what Not said, because what Not.
No. I was going by what Matt said. Like I couldn't parse the words that Matt was saying in the first sentence.
Cause yeah, I feel like Not was like by the end she was like over dramatizing it because she had sort of not heard all of it, and Because, you know, she went back over there and she was like, I heard everything! Every word! But, like, she hadn't. And so I think what we got was that over 1,000 people were dead at the Ashgard, the garrison at the Ashgard Vale. And there was a formal declaration of war on the Kryn dynasty. And then I literally have scribble, 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 missed a bunch. And then send word to General Grinbreaker to move east, and return word to Rex and Trin that Zadash prepares to join the fight.
But the more interesting part is that it was the other person, the other, like, the halfling that was talking, not the halfling. The person that was talking to the group was like, we can't tell everybody now, they'll only panic. Let us have this one day to, like, have fun before we shit on everyone's day. Literally rain on their parade.
Yeah. Let everyone finish their, like, good day before we ship them all off to war. And I think someone in chat mentioned it. Like, it was funny because they'd just been talking earlier about how, like, they were trying to get people to sign up for the militia, and now they're probably going to end up conscripting everyone to, like, to the militia.
So, okay, so about that, do you guys think Mighty Nine are going to get taken to war against, not so much against their will, but, like...
I think they'll hightail it out of there if there's any sign of a thing. They'll just be like...
I think, yep.
Whoop.
They're too sneaky, and, like, it was the first words out of Molly's mouth. They were like, who else not was saying, like, should we leave right now? Like, one person said we should leave right now, and Molly was like, no, let's get the money, and then let's all leave as soon as possible. Which I think is the most practical thing of them to do, and I think they're very slippery, and I think they would be pretty good at getting away.
I mean, and it'd be interesting depending on how it goes with their fight. So they enter in the victory pit, and we find out that it's just kind of your fighting monsters, and the Mighty Nine are successful. We can talk about them more in depth in a second, but, like, they have to fight an Atiog, how do you say it? Atiog, which is that 3-tentacle big mouth thing. And then they fight 2 winter wolves.
Yes, those were cool.
Really those fun. Neat. Those were really neat.
I like it that they, like, kind of got into a pod because they didn't know that it had ice breath. That was fun. So they succeeded on those 2, and now they have to fight a hill giant. Do we think, assuming that they are victorious and they've got, like, a little straw pull out so far, people think they're gonna win? Do you think that they're going to be approached, like, if they're victorious, or even if they're not, kind of in their holding area, like, hey, you guys can fight, we're taking you to the front of this fight?
They didn't sign anything.
And then they're going to have to try to escape that?
Maybe. They didn't sign it. They didn't sign anything when they went into this, right?
They didn't sign anything going in.
I mean, they paid.
Yeah. Well,
they paid money, and they gave their real names. Okay. Except for Fancy Pants.
I just was making sure that there wasn't, like, oh, you're the winners. You are now in the, like. Congratulations.
Well, I mean, the MC was a previous winner.
Yeah,
so
that's true. MC was a previous winner.
Maybe they're, like, offered something, be the champions of Zadash for a year. I don't know. Well, so they go in, and that describes. So it's first the Righteous Brands group, the last line, right? Is the team name, and they fight some toad creature called a Banderhob?
Yeah, Banderhob.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Is that an actual thing?
Yeah. It was in...
Okay.
I looked it up. Every monster that comes up, I look at it on D&D Beyond. And I was like, oh, it's got a really nice swallow thing. It's nasty.
What? Okay.
Well, like the feature.
Past that.
It's good. It's fine. It's fine.
I kind of want to look it up. Is it in regular Monster Manual?
I don't remember.
Or is it Volos?
I don't remember.
It doesn't seem familiar to me at all. But the Mighty
It's in Volos.
It's in Volos. Thank you, Neverwinter Pool.
Having to fight I said it earlier and I forgot. Atiog. Which is probably pretty nasty. Like, they
Poopy mouth, yeah.
Poopy mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And a couple of them got... Was it three got poisoned, or just Yasha and Bo?
I think it's just Yasha and Bo. I just like the way Matt said, yeah, it bites you with its poopy mouth.
It's like poopy mouth. And it's a disease. Like, it's not the poison condition. You have a disease. And Matt like later looked, and it's until cured, so it's a good thing that they did cure them before their next fight, because that puts you at disadvantage on all your rolls.
I thought that was really interesting, because as they were waiting to come out for the next battle, they were like, do we do heals? Do we do potions? And then like literally they watched the team before them oh wow, that's gross. They watched the team before them get like decimated, and literally as they were like, as the doors were opening, they were like, oh shit, quick, and they were like push.
That was my favorite. My note on here is okay, where is it?
Which is part of Dustin's explanation of people like players should plan what they're doing. Tell us about your TED Talk, Dustin.
And Matt had like kind of described every battle, and so the last line is kind of coordinated in their attack, and they take this thing out almost with no problem. And it's like Matt's describing this, and so they're all kind of in awe, like in person, kind of playing these things in their mind. And it's like they could have, paid attention and be like, okay, they did this. But instead, so when they go in their first battle, they kind of like spread out in the middle. And then kind of just get beat up for a little while. There was like 2 rounds that all Molly did was Vicious Mockery. Which is good, because it gives them disadvantage on the next attack. But like they could have taken it down faster, I feel.
Yeah, well, and then I think one of the other fights, I think it was with the wolves. Jester kept just doing cantrip, like Toll the Dead and stuff like that, and I mean she was definitely trying to save some spell slots. I mean they were right to be cautious. I mean they didn't know what they were gonna fight in the end, but I think a couple times they were a little too cautious, and it ended up biting them kind of in the butt. Mm-hmm. But then, when we get to the end, prepping for the last battle, it was just sort of like, I felt like I was back in campaign 1.
There was some other interesting things before the fight started. The MC kind of announced some special guests that were there.
We got the who's who of
Lawmaster Arintha was there, and they saw that Dolan was like 2 seats down, so he's like,
so that's a good sign.
Making his way up there. That's good.
Yeah.
And then the headmaster of the Cobalt Reserve, Erlon Haas.
Headmaster of the Zauberspire.
Did I put?
That was the person from the person from the Halls of Erudition.
Did he say Cobalt Reserve? Because I wrote down Cobalt Reserve.
So they said Zauberspire.
Yeah, this is Zauberspire.
Why did I write that down? Okay, so that guy, and then the Flying Mage Man was next to him.
Yep.
The one that shot down the assassin from the Kryn Dynasty.
I feel like
do you think they're a rope? Go ahead.
I was just gonna make a quick because I feel like even when Matt described those two, Liam's face again made a couple like little like twitches.
Oh, and he mentions it in fight because he's like, and I do this because I know there's high level casters here watching me. And
I didn't notice that.
Is there?
Go ahead, Jess.
That's interesting. So he was making a show of it, you think, in front of the headmaster, trying to like get on the good side, like trying to be like, "Hey, look at me, I'm a fancy."
Nervous.
I think he was more like nervous, but I think there's definitely something with that flying, because like when that flying guy came and killed the drow, and Matt was describing him in that one episode.
And he like sunk away and like tried.
Yeah, he definitely was trying to hide, and I like when he was announcing like who was in the state, like you could see Caleb like kind of twist, and then he was definitely rattled by the fact that those guys were like up there too.
And I feel personally like if we know how old he was, has he said how old Caleb is at all? Because it feels like based on that he tried to, I don't know if there's like an audition process to get into the school, but he failed that and didn't get to go. That's why he's self-taught. And so now he's like, I don't know if I'm really casting these things right in front of these high-level casters.
That's sort of the impression you guys got?
That's what I got. Like I don't know if he's been like saving up spells or trying to self-teach himself to try to like get back at the school, like how you didn't accept me, I'm still a good caster.
And not because he didn't want to be recognized or something like that, because he did previously when he saw the person before. We have that
that's like
him being like hide.
I don't know how that whole process went. Like if he got shamed, if he was like, "Don't ever show your face around here again."
He actually knows them.
Who knows?
But the headmaster had on red and gray robes, and the floating mage with the long gray hair had on white and gold robes. So do you think that he is the evolved form of Gandalf?
No, I think he just hit Y on his GameCube controller to go through the colors on Super Smash.
It's just he's just the
skin.
He's the flashier of the mages.
He pre-ordered, and so we got the.
Oh, we got the nice gold skin because he pre-ordered the game. Okay.
Speaking of games, Pillars of Eternity 2 is coming out, or Deadfire, whatever it's called.
Oh damn! All the voices.
All the voices. So they fight the first thing. Yasha gets the how do you do this thanks to the enlarge spell. She cuts the thing in half essentially, which is really cool.
He wants me to sing the song I was singing earlier.
Oh, do it.
No!
Okay.
You can't put me on the spot like that.
Okay. Everybody was thinking, if you're a Steven Universe fan, you all thought it.
And
all
see Yasha turn into a giant woman.
So that does happen. And then...
Oh, but I have a question. Would the enlarge... No, you do. You have the answer. I'm looking this at you now, and you better give me an answer.
Okay. It is a spell that Tango has.
Okay, good. So you know everything about it.
Absolutely not.
The professors had it too.
Would it be better to use it on a different person? Because after he used it after Caleb turned Yasha into a giant woman, a lot of what they said, they're like, oh, I get the same thing from my rage. Like, she gets the advantage with her rage, and she got some of the other sort of, like, bonuses with her rage. The only thing actually gave her, aside from amazing flair and storytelling and an awesome murder, was a D4, an additional D4, right? I think?
Yes. But the spell itself doesn't grant advantage on attack rolls, so I think it was smarter because she has a better chance of rolling a nat 20. So that's 2d4 extra damage.
Well, because as a barbarian, she'd have to reckless to get advantage, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it gives her advantage, and otherwise she would have had to, like, just her regular rage doesn't normally give her advantage. No. It just
correct.
Okay, so it does have a bunch of good stuff for her. So this is probably going to be their like cool move going forward.
Yes.
Yeah, Matt even is like, I am gonna have to make a giant Yasha minion.
Because he knows it's going to keep happening.
You'd have to make one for everybody because it can happen to anybody. I think Jester would have the most fun as a giant for a minute.
Oh man, that would be great, and I want to see that.
Yeah. Does her lollipop get to be giant too?
It does affect your weapons.
Oh damn! Giant lollipop.
Giant lollipop. Even more giant lollipop. It's already pretty big.
That's true. That's true.
So the next one is the Mountain Makers, who are the group of gnomes and dwarves.
I liked them.
And they're like, the dwarves are the melee and the gnomes are the casters. And they have to fight a teal gnoll. No, troll?
It was a troll.
I wrote gnoll, which is why I kept saying that word. Is there like a variant, or is that like a Matt Mercer special thing, you think?
I feel like there's types of trolls.
Kind of based on location?
I think so.
I'm still going back. Zorhas is like that island on Pokemon where there's the pink berries, and that's the pink Rhyhorn and other pink Pokemon.
Not like the new Frosty Vulpix or anything like that. It's got like the cool variant Sparkle Pokemon. Sorry.
But then it's the Stubborn Stalk, and they have to fight a 15-foot crocodile, which is pretty cool.
Fun.
And through this, the Mighty Nine is talking like, do you see what they're doing? And it's mainly not. It's like, do you see what they're doing? They're fighting as a team.
I know. She's like, hey, maybe we should do some of this whole strategy stuff, yo.
And if anybody's reading the My Hero Academia manga, then that is super relevant because it's really cool. I'm sorry. Then the last line is up again for their second match, and they have to fight 2 Minotaur.
That was great.
And it was cool. Like, the guy got gored immediately, and then and it's down to one person, and they're like, "No, we give up," and then they're hit immediately.
They weren't minor tours. It wasn't a minor fight. No, I had a thing there, but I lost it. Never mind.
I still like it. It was still good. I think that fight was my favorite fight, though. I like you said, and then like the I think they said they were sort of like a mage-ish type that was trying to like wave them down like an elf. and then instead it was left up to Gunther. Gunther, we had seen earlier in like the arm wrestling, was the last one standing, and he was like, "Come on!" and then got the two of them to like smash together, and then like managed to take down one, but the other one like
got him and like pierced him through
in the liver. They specifically said in the liver.
That sucks. And so that's the first team that goes down. The clerics then, or the people with chains, approach, and the Minotaur falls asleep.
Yeah.
What?
Yes. The manacles. Please, let's talk about the manacles.
You're on the manacles. Let's talk about some.
Were those the same manacles that they found? I'm assuming
yes.
They have to be the same manacles that they found.
Because the other ones had a magic seal. The Manticore.
The Manticore, thank you.
They had like a magic seal on them, and it was broken, so that it was like rendered innate, so there's no magic left. So that's probably what the magic does when it's not broken, is it somehow puts them to sleep. But like,
what are they doing with all these monsters?
Well, and so it's the righteous brand too that is supplying these monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So are they like pulling them from the front lines of the Xhorhas battle?
They're transforming them from the children that they've stolen.
That's right. I'm sorry. I forgot we figured it out.
And that's why those two Minotaurs were so connected. It's because they were two sibling children that had grown up together, and they're like, we're gonna make it through this. And then like they did it. Sorry, go ahead.
I have a question. King Sundu in the chat. So if these Xhorhasian monsters if these are Xhorhasian monsters, would this tournament be a large propaganda show against Xhorhas so that people are always ready for war against these monsters?
That's so good, King Sundu.
And it's great because at the beginning, as soon as they like mentioned that the Righteous Brand was recruiting, and they like had the pamphlet immediately, Bo, how she is, it's just like, it's propaganda.
Yeah.
So that does make sense. I like that. I mean, I don't from a personal.
Yeah.
But from a conspiracy level, I like that idea.
Yeah. That's great. Like they're trying to be all like, look at all these monsters that exist over there. That place is horrible and full of monsters that kill people. Watch as they kill people.
Or it could also be kind of what I was saying earlier, of like the winners are basically immediately conscripted into war.
Yeah, because like, okay, yeah,
like these are the things you're gonna fight. If you can win here, then you can win over there. Go fight. We'll give you a gold a day.
Yeah. You've already fought the worst of the worst over there. Now go do it for real.
Like Starship Troopers vibes. Want to know more?
Ooh, or are those monsters from the Gentleman? Because we do know that like there was some.
Oh, there were some
stuff happening where the Gentleman was trading and stuff that they were sneaking in underground and things
and
like that.
There were some cages when they left, and then there were more when they came back. Maybe the Gentleman has a deal with the Righteous Brand, and so their name is false, not very righteous.
But that doesn't sound as good as a name, so.
It's the throw off the trail. A rose by any other name.
A conspiracy by any other name would be just as great as a rose by that name. Moving on from that.
Okay, and then the Mighty Nine do their next one, and like my note is like literally last minute they drink all the potions. Like,
my note here. M9 freaks the fuck out, and they're running out. Like, I cast the cure wounds on your as we go out. I drink this potion.
Do they have many spell slots yet? Do we know? Like they're. Sorry, left afterwards.
We know Jester has used the level 2 spell to do Lesser Restoration on Yasha. They're now out of the herbal medicine, so they can't cure any poison if that were to happen again. First, does she use any spells the first fight? Just Jester. Because I think Caleb only used his glove, the Scorching Ray glove. And then Travis, or Ford, has his invocations, so he did Hex on the wolves. I think was the only actual spell slot that he used, but also
so they stole some stuff. Okay. I actually was wondering, like, part of me was wondering, because this was like a planned tournament thing, if they were going to give them some stuff to recover a little bit between battles. Like, I was just personally wondering that, like, but no.
Yeah, it's more like a hardcore see how long you could last on what you have.
Yeah.
It's like all those games that have like a zombie mode. You have to fight wave after wave.
Yeah.
I have a note here. Oh, Matt like drops something and has to bend down, and he comes up and he apologizes to the mic. I don't know if anybody saw that, but like bumped it. He's like, oh, sorry, Mike. But they have to fight the 2 winter wolves, and they do really good. Oh, so who is it? Caleb does use Maximilian's Earthen Grasp, so that's a great spell. Locks one down for a little bit.
I like his flavor to that too. That's a cat paw. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was so good. Maximilian's paw.
Does she use? So yeah, she does use a Cure Wounds. So she probably has like we know she has 1 second level spell because after the Winter Wolf fight, she immediately does Prayer of Healing because they don't have a lot of time. But that's like a good 15 minute. It takes 15 minutes to cast that spell. I think it's like 3d8 to 6 people. She uses. I don't know what else. I don't know. It's like after the first fight, and then Matt describing the second one. So like, holy shit, we were underprepared for this. But they ended up being victorious against the Winter Wolves, hasn't taken any damage. I think Caleb is fine-ish. She just took an Ice Breath, which is, I mean, still detrimental to any wizard at level 4. Because what is his health at? I have it right here. He has a maximum of 25. I think you'd say Molly Mock takes the brunt of it. The second, run of Frost Breath ends up doing 26 damage, which is like half his health. So he's not doing great, especially with his Crimson Rights, because you have to take damage to use them.
Yeah.
And that damage can't be healed.
Yeah, because it lowers your max hit points down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bloodhunters, they're cool, but that's such a detriment.
I mean, he made himself a little more viable with the tough feat, but he's still he's got to not take other damage.
Yeah, maybe just start out with 1 right activated. I'm going to both immediately. But they fight that just fine, and then the next fight is the so Yasha and Molly both get how he wants to do this on the different wolves. I like Molly's where he severs the jaw back.
Oh yeah, and man, Matt's description where he's the tongue lolls out because he's you just rip it open. It's
Yeah.
Because he stabs it up to basically make the jaw not function, so it's slack and then
exactly. Did that make anyone else think of the time that Grog ripped open the jaw and bit out the tongue? That's
the bullet. Yeah, the bullet. Yeah. That was a long time ago.
I got Grog bullet feelings, guys.
Also, I just want to point out, the last time Sam wore that shirt he was wearing was the Kavarn fight, and they won then, and he wore it again, and they won now, so you're welcome.
Matlock.
The second time he wore that shirt was against the Rhinefang fight, and they won then too.
Oh, so there you go.
It's a lucky shirt.
It's a lucky shirt.
So the Mountain Makers go, and they fight 2 owlbears, and they knock one kind of unconscious, and then the other one gets pissed, and then the first one comes back with a vengeance, and they just take everybody out.
That was a rough fight.
Yeah, and this is where Matt described it. It's as the people with the chains approached, that's the monsters went to sleep. So it's what is going on? Is it proximity to the chains? Is it somebody controlling the magic? What is it?
For sure it's the chains, because the manacles that they had, the person said, oh wow, these are finely crafted, but they used to have magic on them. They don't anymore. If they still had the magic on them, that manticore wouldn't have been awake. They would have never gotten that fight. And
So then who's the other player involved that took the manticore?
Yeah, who stole the manticore, or did someone was it brought in? What is going on with that? They didn't get to question that priest. I know, but where did he come from? That priest, why was he there?
Where did he go? Where did he come from? You're welcome.
No, but maybe no, because it was so far away. If it had been closer to Zadash, I would say that when the gentleman's crew were trying to sneak the manticore underground, they brought it too close to the anti-magic field of the upper zone, and then the chains lost their magic, and the manticore ate them all and ran away.
Interesting. So you're saying someone has gotten to 0 HP every time he wears it? I don't think I got a 0 HP.
Uke is trying to prove your shirt is bad luck.
Listen, friend, someone has to. It's how it is, how the magic is supplied. It takes a life to save life. I don't know. Listen.
Teach me how to save a life?
Yeah. Where did I go wrong? I lost a friend somewhere along in the better descent.
I love us so much. Okay.
So the next, the Stubborn Stock fights 2 Displacer Beasts, and it's cool that Matt is using like straight out of the book monsters because
that's cool.
I want to tell you, like in my brain movie, that was my favorite fight because watching these phase kitties like go in and out, and the Stubborn Stock trying to like fight him, and like that was because I love Displacer Beasts. I love the design of Displacer Beasts. They're just really cool to me. The whole aesthetic, and then me picturing that fight with like a band of sellswords like teaming up and like getting pounced. Yeah, that was my favorite fight.
But the Manticore would have ditched the chains. They were in the mine. I think the Manticore like nested like really soon after getting freed from whatever spell the chains.
Yeah.
So she was like, I have a baby to bring into the world.
So I'm gonna just nestle down right here.
Yeah, I'll take out the trash next week. And so they are successful, I believe, because they like after one is able to hit them and stop the displacement thing from happening. They all kind of just teamed up on the cats.
Was that the last one?
That was
just before.
Yes, because it was the last line fighting the Minotaur and they lost, and then it was the Mountain Makers fighting the Owlbears and they lost. So it's just the 2, the Mighty Nine and the Stubborn Stock now. And the Mighty Nine is called upon again, and Not has this brilliant idea. What did you guys think of that? Dustin, I think you approved?
Yeah, go ahead, Dustin.
No! Nothing about that plan made any sense, because if something had come out of there, they're not just going to run right past you, because if it... I mean, splitting up the party for like all over the place, and then if someone gets in trouble, it's going to take everyone like a while to like get in there. Like you don't know what monsters you're facing. You don't know that it's just going to run blindly past you and you're going to get a attack of a hit, because it runs out, it sees a thing, unless you like have a sufficient hide. Like, I mean, it's going to you both enter into combat when you're within combat range. You know, that was, and then they went right back to that wishy-washy, like, no, we're going to do this, no, we're going to do this, no, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's Vox Machina. I'm watching them, and then they come up with the plan, and then they immediately go into a completely different plan, and it's just, I'm like, oh boy. Well, thank you for my TED Talk.
You can buy his book. Never. I can't edit it. It's too many words.
It's like
it just didn't make a lot of sense. Like, we're gonna have 2 people at every door, and we're just gonna, we've already been told that each time we fight is gonna be a harder beast. So I'm sure 2 people can fight it, even though we've almost been downed by 1 monster, and then we're super almost down by 2 monsters. So this last thing will be fine if only 2 people are fighting it.
Yeah,
I thought it wasn't a terrible idea. Like the creatures they have fought have sort of come running in. If in theory you're like pressed up against the wall there, you're like, and as it runs by, you're like, poke, like just like.
Yeah, but then that's immediately gonna make the thing stop. And,
yeah, it's gonna
just pose me.
Stop.
I'm gonna do this now, and not gonna run it any further.
Like, if they had provoked an opportunity attack on a hill giant, it would have stopped, turned around, and just been wailing on a guy before they had time for the initiative.
I think it's only going to take 1 hit per person, personally, because those things hit.
Really?
Yeah, hill giants are...
I'm going to look. They're my favorite to use, because I'm doing Storm King's Thunder. And
nice.
Thing, because they're killers.
I forgot to keep D&D Beyond up because I had to stream stuff, so I don't want...
Yeah, so a Hill Giant's Great Club does 3d8 plus 5 bludgeoning.
What's it to hit? What's its plus to hit?
8. 3d8 plus 5?
Yeah.
3d8, yeah, like the average is 18, which is basically what everybody has left. Sans Not, who hasn't been hurt. So it's like,
What?
if this thing just looks at you, you need to run the fuck away.
Reduce the giant,
Yes,
Caleb, please.
that
Oh
would
my
be
god.
great.
Yes.
I
That
hope
would
he
be
does
so-
that.
Oh my god.
Because I've done that as the professor too. I've reduced the giant thing to a smaller thing so that we could like manage it better.
That's
So let's talk about that next week. So they're fighting a hill giant. They have a cleric with only, I think, 2 spell slots, a first and second. They have a wizard with everything but a second, because I think that's what the grasp is. They've got a tank who can't rage. They've got Molly Mock, who can't really use his right anymore because he's low on hit points. Those low
I'm
on
getting
hit
queasy
points.
now. This is why are we
Ford's
talking
low on
about
hit
this?
points.
I mean, on the bright side, there's healers on hand, so maybe
Singular.
they'll all be okay.
Oh, you mean like there's clerics everywhere. I think they're gonna wipe. I don't think they're gonna win. Okay. Other things. So Matt describes that this thing has like spines poking into them.
Yeah,
like
they agitated it before it came out of the gate.
So do you guys think that Mighty Nine is gonna like just zoom focus on that and like maybe if we take these spines out, it'll be our friend?
I hope they don't do that because that's not
They're
good.
gonna do that. You know, because that's like
not going to
that's a
change
DM
anything though. They're dumb
It's
as
a DM
stumps.
trap.
Well,
It's a
but even-
DM
yeah.
trap. If like you describe something that's completely innate and has nothing to do
No,
with the
yeah,
story,
it is-
but if you
it-
describe it,
and
your
then
players are like,
Players
what?
hyper focus on it. Yeah.
You wouldn't have it. You wouldn't have
Yeah.
described it if that wasn't a purpose.
Well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Matt's
Well-
really good about. Sorry, Jess, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I didn't want to.
I was just gonna say that, like, in the last fight, Bo had a nat 20 animal handling stick throw, and the wolf didn't respond to that.
Not natural.
So, I mean, I think that's a rather, like, I feel like that's gonna be a rather fresh reminder for them that, like, we can't get these monsters to not fight us. Not in the pit, not in the ring.
Well,
like-
I feel like they're gonna do it though, because Chester was like, "Did the hill giant speak English?"
Oh, did
Well-
she ask?
She did at the end, yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's just gonna like there. I don't think.
They speak giant.
I also believe I think that it'll have reduced HP because it's like been held in captivity. I don't think anything has had its max hit points this far because
Uh-huh.
they're captured things that were like Pokemon captured. Like you weakened it, captured it, and you didn't take it to the Poké Center, so it's at whatever hit points it had.
I agree with Krugazette in chat. They're gonna get knocked out, wake up in an eastbound conscripted army card.
Yes.
That is,
I like that.
I 100% agree with that.
Mhm.
That's what I mean. Like Matt made a point of being like, "There's healers on hand. There's healers." Like we've only let one person actually proper die in this thing like ever. Like people get knocked out, sure.
Well,
but
do
they
we
come back.
think any of these healers are capable of bringing somebody back to life if they, are
I
instant
think they'll just get knocked out. I think they'll just get knocked out.
But like this thing, if Matt rolls a natural 20, like it could kill one person.
Yeah.
Well, he
you
said
think-
he had mentioned that one of those gnomes was like gone outright.
Oh, did he?
Still unconscious.
He
I
said
think
one
that-
was like
Well,
dead.
I mean, it might have been me I'm not misunderstanding his phrase, but he said he's gone. This guy's dead. Like, well, I don't know if he said dead, but he's like he's gone. Like his neck is like ripped open, and I don't know. Maybe I read it wrong.
gonna be like the frog dude, start making zombies.
He's
He's gonna start like pulling them from under his like little giant fat. Like here's a zombie.
Yeah.
He's just gonna have zombies in his armpits. Armpit zombies.
Can you tell me why he wouldn't?
I just think they would have found that contraband on him a little sooner in his jailing process.
Do you know how many rolls this thing has? Have you seen the mini? It's like disgusting.
It's gross.
No,
It's flabs upon flabs. Like you get on, but they're like all the way up there.
no, I've not seen it.
I don't know. I think Mighty Nine's gonna fall, and I like this idea if they're gonna wake up and they're on a cart going to the front lines.
Yep, 100%. That's the plan. They're gonna there's no because they don't have all their spell slots left. They're all already wounded. This thing has over 100 HP, and like you said, it has the Great Club, which does 3d8 plus 5, or it has apparently a rock, which it can throw for 3d10 plus 5. Like
Which
you
I
said,
hope
it's
it
gonna...
uses a person as a rock. And again, Uncle Luke, a single monster against several players is not nearly as tough as it could be. if it was any other party than these 7 goofballs.
Yeah.
What if the information from the front lines isn't accurate, and in the middle of them fighting a hill giant, we get an Amon scenario?
Oh yeah, like just like other monsters.
There's an invasion.
Yeah, the invasion hits here.
And
They're
like all
it's
the other
okay.
monsters that they have are like freed, and then it's an episode of like Rampage.
And then Joe Manganiello shows up in the next episode,
riding a manticore.
Like, Rampage, go watch it.
They get Dwayne the Rock
And then
Golem
he,
Johnson.
like, smashes everything. He just picks up the minis and he throws them. This is.
What were you gonna say? Say it.
No. I don't got anything else.
Okay.
Sorry, I think that's it.
Neither do we. I think we're kind of at the end.
I think
here.
we're done. I think that's.
Bo has 34, Ford's at 41, Molly's at 29.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're
Okay, but still, this thing has two. This thing has 2 great club attacks every time. So.
And what's its like? What's its end both max hit points?
105.
I mean, it's feasible for level 4s.
Yeah, it's just they have to be.
Its armor class is only 13, so it's not
really
So I mean, it's going to be.
Can they get enough damage up?
Stay out of melee. Not. Jester's might have to use. I mean, if Jester uses spiritual weapon, if she has that still, that would be useful. Because it's a melee up at close.
I feel like she's gonna hold on to the spell slots.
I feel like she's gonna be conservative with it too. But either, I mean, they either have to go all out really quick, and the range have to pull. Like Caleb has to unload. Has to be good on the shots. Yeah,
that's really it.
Because I mean, it's feasible that they could do it, but like, the minute someone gets in melee of that thing, it's gonna be rough. And Matt has the golden snitch, so you know
true.
The possibilities are high.
And the real question is like, are they gonna overthink it and then screw themselves over? Thinking, oh my god, it's a hill giant, because they did that with the cube, the gelatinous cube. Like I've never been like, oh my god, it's a gelatinous cube, panic, and they kind of did that, even though they like beat it. They panicked.
Well, yeah, like with those kind of things, like if you get in a bad situation, it can be bad.
I just feel that they're gonna make it a bad situation.
Yeah, I just think that like. You know what I mean? I feel like Yasha and Bo are gonna go in because they're like, well, I'm a frontline hitter. This is what I have to do. And they're both gonna like go down 1 turn each. Like one goes down 1 turn, one goes down the next turn. And then maybe everyone will back the fuck off. But this thing has 40 feet of movement. It doesn't move slow. It moves pretty fast. Like I feel like it could like there's nowhere for them to like proper hide, I don't feel like on that map.
I feel like it's going to come down to Jester and Bo having to be in melee range because they have the highest ACs. And maybe Jester will Shield of Faith someone to raise it by 2. But I don't think it should be Jester because she's the healer if they need it. I don't know.
We'll see.
Their party makeup is like
Herc made a comment that he was like underimpressed by the Hill Giant as the final.
Oh really?
I also think it's just 1 Hill Giant's not too tough for a fight for this round. Yeah,
is this the final round?
It is just a set. Yeah, it's number 3.
This is the there's only 3 rounds.
Because like when they described it, I thought like that the end, like because he said the purse gets split, so I thought there was going to be like this giant free for all of a thing with the last remaining whoever was remaining, like teaming together to fight a thing. So that's kind of what I thought, and I hoped because that would be fun, and like the last team standing gets the full pot. True, Yasha is kind of useless if she's not in melee, but she can't. I mean, she can hit and still hit pretty hard.
Yeah, she doesn't have any distance. Like, did she? She was looking for like throwing stars or something, right? She got darts.
She does have those.
So she has darts. In theory, if they. Oh fuck.
Because Caleb.
Oh yeah, Yasha. Sorry, I was thinking of. Yeah, you're right. So Yasha has like literally nothing, distance, right?
So it's really down to Not and Caleb and Ford, like. Pelt it with everything you got and be the last people standing.
I guess we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a negative Nancy, but I don't.
Knowing Matt though, I feel like this Hill Giant's gonna have something that's surprising.
Yeah, I just feel like Matt is setting this up to make it pretty hard for them. Like I feel like they're gonna have to play it really smart. or they're gonna get knocked out and he'll just revive them with the clerics that are there. Like, I feel like he made a big point of like, all these clerics are there, so like, if y'all get stomped, you'll come back. But like, I feel like they're all gonna wake up having been stomped.
That's gonna be fun.
Well, we'll find out this Thursday.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us and sticking with us. Those of you that did through the technical difficulties.
Oh, yeah.
I will say that I'll have a solution, but I'm not gonna promise it. So I'll probably have one of these guys stream instead.
Well, hopefully I can figure out what's happening, because unfortunately for you guys who are watching, I've been dropping frames like crazy and I don't know why.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'll try and figure it out for next time. Next time on Critical Reroll! Less drop frames!
Oh right, that's the thing. I'm going to turn it off now.
It's fine. Yeah, just end it. I was Matt. Thank you for listening, and Blink Dog should still be able to vote.
Welcome to my TED
I
Talk.
was Jess, and Matt Abernathy is a tech